Picture this. It's 1992, you're in your pajamas, and the world feels infinite. Because Saturday mornings used to be sacred and we were the faithful. You'd wake up naturally around 7, no alarm clock needed. Your internal kid radar just knew. The house was quiet, except for maybe your dad making coffee in the kitchen. That familiar percolating sound that meant the adults were slowly joining the world. But that was their territory. Your kingdom was the living room carpet, and your throne was that perfect spot right in front of the TV where the morning light hit just right. You'd flip to channel 4 or 7, wherever the magic was happening. And man, that lineup, Garfield and Friends with that catchy theme song you'd sing all week. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles teaching you that heroes could love pizza and crack jokes. The Smurfs in their little mushroom village where problems were simple and always solved in 30 minutes. It wasn't just television. It was a weekly appointment with wonder, a ritual that connected you to millions of other kids doing the exact same thing at the exact same moment. The cereal. God, the cereal choices felt like life or death decisions. Lucky Charms or Fruit Loops, Captain Crunch that would absolutely destroy the roof of your mouth. But you'd eat it anyway because cartoon pirates demanded sacrifice. And you'd eat it slow, making each spoonful last. Because once that bowl was empty, you'd have to move. And moving meant potentially missing something incredible. You had your system down perfectly. Bowl, spoon, milk measured just right, so the cereal wouldn't get soggy too fast. You'd sit cross-legged on that carpet, bowl balanced in your lap, eyes glued to the screen. Sometimes you'd forget to eat entirely, getting so absorbed in the adventures that your cereal would turn into colorful milk soup. Your pajamas were your uniform, that soft cotton comfort that meant you belonged nowhere else but right there. No need to get dressed, no need to brush your hair, no need to be anywhere else or be anyone else. The world outside could wait. This was your time, your sacred 2 hours where being a kid wasn't just allowed. It was the whole point. The house would slowly come alive around you. Your parents moving in the background like gentle ghosts, respecting the sanctity of your Saturday morning ritual. Maybe your dad would sit in his chair with his coffee, pretending to read the newspaper, but actually watching cartoons with you. He'd chuckle at the right moments, and you'd feel this warm sense that everything was exactly as it should be. The commercials were almost as good as the shows, maybe better, because they promised futures filled with amazing toys. That Crossfire commercial with the heavy metal music that made a board game seem like warfare. Easy bake ovens that could turn you into a tiny chef. Super soakers that promised epic neighborhood water battles that would last all summer long. You'd plan your birthday, wish list during commercial breaks, adding and subtracting items based on how cool they looked in those 30-second promises. And the best part? Time moved differently on Saturday mornings. Those 2 hours felt like an entire day, maybe an entire week. You'd experience complete storylines, laugh until your stomach hurt, get genuinely worried about cartoon characters whose problems felt as real as your own. Your emotions were huge and real and totally justified because in that moment, nothing else existed beyond that glowing screen and your imagination. Sometimes your little brother or sister would join you on the carpet kingdom. Maybe you'd share your cereal, feeling generous and protective. Maybe you'd argue about the channel, but never too seriously because you both understood the rules. Mostly, you'd just exist together in that perfect bubble of childhood weekend freedom, creating shared memories without even knowing it. The sunlight would shift across the living room floor as the morning progressed. You'd notice it without really noticing it. The way it moved from the east windows to paint different patterns on the wall. Everything felt warm and safe and exactly as it should be. Outside, other kids in other houses were having their own Saturday morning cartoon moments. The whole neighborhood, maybe the whole country, was synchronized in this beautiful, innocent ritual. Your mom would eventually appear, still in her robe, hair slightly messy, suggesting maybe some real breakfast or perhaps getting dressed for the day. But she'd say it gently, knowing she was interrupting something important. Good parents understood the sacred nature of Saturday morning cartoons. They remembered being kids themselves, remembered having their own version of this magic. Around 10 or 11, the cartoon block would end. Regular programming would take over. Boring adult stuff like news or talk shows, that was your signal, clear as any bell. Time to go outside, time to ride your bike, time to play the adventures you just watched, time to be the hero of your own Saturday. But here's the thing nobody tells you when you're 7 years old, eating sugary cereal in your Superman pajamas. We never knew we were living in the golden age. We never knew those Saturday mornings would end. We just assumed they'd always be there, waiting for us every weekend like faithful friends. One day, without realizing it, you stopped waking up for cartoons. Maybe you discovered sleeping in. Maybe you had soccer practice. Maybe you just grew up when nobody was looking, when life got complicated and Saturday mornings became about catching up on homework or hanging out with friends who thought cartoons were for little kids. And now we wake up to alarm clocks and responsibilities and coffee that actually matters. Our Saturday mornings are filled with errands and grocery shopping and all the stuff we successfully avoided back then. We watch our own kids experience their own version of cartoon magic, and we smile. But it's different now. We're the parents in robes, protecting their sacred time while secretly wishing we could join them on that carpet. Because we know something they don't know yet. We know that Saturday morning cartoons don't last forever. We know that growing up means leaving certain kinds of magic behind, trading wonder for wisdom, trading infinite Saturday mornings for infinite responsibilities. But for a few years, for those perfect Saturday mornings in the early 90s, the world was infinite, and we were exactly where we belonged.